What's up YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Jess Nicole here. If you are new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And in today's video, we are going to be doing back workouts for women in the gym. If you know me, you know that back day is my second favorite day next to legs and booty, of course. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into it. So when I am doing a back day, I always start by stretching out my back, stretching out my lats, stretching out my traps, my rhomboids, all those good back muscles. So here's one of the stretches that I do first. This is honestly a stretch for the chest, but it just feels really good to like my shoulder blades and the front of my shoulders, so I like to incorporate this. I move my hand from upwards to a little bit downwards. That kind of deepens the stretch and stretches different muscles of my chest. So of course we got to do the other side, and we do the other side the exact same way. So once I'm done with that, I like to just shake it out, shake it out. Now I work a little bit on my mobility and range of motion. I honestly don't even know the name of this stretch. I just know that this is really good for your shoulder mobility and increasing that range of motion. So this is very important when you're doing back days to ensure that you don't hurt yourself, you don't strain anything, you don't over lengthen any muscles. So I just do a quick like 5-6 reps here, just get my back muscles warmed up, as you can see. And this very last stretch is going to be opening up the chest and increasing some flexibility in that spine. This feels really, really good to your spine, especially if you sit down all day, your shoulders are constantly hunched over. This really just opens up the front of your body. So the idea with this stretch is that you want to have your hands up high and you want to sink your chest down low. So with each breath, you want to be sinking a little bit lower, but putting your hands a little higher. And I like to just twist side and side to get my lats a good stretch and just stretch out my entire back. And trust me, I know that the warm-up is probably the least exciting part of a workout, but guys, it is so important. Please do not skip warming up your body and your muscles before you go into something heavy and hard to do. So the next thing I like to do to warm up for my back is the rower machine. Now, a lot of people think that the rowing machine is just an upper body workout, but rowing is actually a total body workout, and it's good for all people of all fitness levels to try. It's great because it's low impact. You know, it's working your quads, your calves, your glutes, your pecs, your arms, your abs, your obliques, all that good stuff. So even rowing for as short as 5 minutes can have some really awesome benefits. You'll notice that you'll become stronger and less out of breath, and you may even notice some muscle gain from the rowing machine. But again, this is just my warm-up. This is just warming up my muscles, getting everything hot and ready to lift heavy today. Now, before I lift too heavy, I still like to do one more warm-up exercise. So this is the Superman. And I like to do this because it is me lifting my own body weight. I'm not lifting anything super heavy, super hard, but I'm still activating my back muscles. This is great for promoting good posture, supporting your spine, and it helps reduce the risk of injury. So this is called the Superman variation. So the first thing I'm doing is a standard Superman, like so. And the next thing I'm doing is a Superman with a pull-up, which is when I pull my elbows in towards my body. So with this movement, the goal is to have your hands and your feet off the ground at the same time. You're definitely gonna be feeling this in your glutes as well as your lats and your rhomboids of your back. I like to do just like 10 to 20 reps of this just to get my back nice and warmed up. All right, ladies, and moving on, the first workout we are going to start with is pull-ups. Now, I have to use the assisted machine. If you don't need it, then by all means, girl, get that. But for me, in order for me to get a nice few reps of pull-ups, I have to admit that I do have to use the assisted machine. But pull-ups are one of the most effective back strengthening exercises, especially overhand and underhand. They each target different muscles. So right now I'm doing overhand, which is the most difficult variation of pull-ups, but the wider grip puts your lats more into the main focus and it kind of ignores the biceps. And pull-ups are great for strengthening your hand grip as well. So moving on, we are now going to do them with an underhand grip. So the underhand is considered an ideal way to build biceps along with the upper back. The underhand movement calls for a supinated grip, which involves more bicep muscles rather than just the back. And as far as the overhand versus underhand grip, there is not one that is necessarily better than the other. If you're looking to build a back made of concrete and to increase your body strength, consider incorporating both grips into your workout. Now moving on, we are going to do one of the most popular back workouts, the lat pull down. Now starting, we are going to be using this handle, which is going to be a close grip lat pull down. Now I'm sure it comes as no surprise that the lat pull down mostly
works your lat muscles of the back, but some of the secondary muscle groups that are worked are also the biceps, the abs, the shoulders, and the upper back. So the action for this workout is to sit on the bench while facing the cable machine, secure your legs under the knee pads, extend your arms upwards to grab the grip attachment with your palms facing each other, and you're gonna wanna lean slightly back. Brace your core, bring your shoulder blades down and back, and pull the grip attachment down until it touches your chest. You wanna pause slowly and briefly at the bottom, squeeze your lats, and slowly return to the starting position. And moving on, we are now going to do a standard wide grip lat pull down. So it's important here to have your thumbs turned outwards and not tucked in. And what this does is this ensures that you are not incorporating too much of your bicep and that you're letting your lats do most of the work here. So just a few mistakes that people commonly make with the wide grip lat pull down. You want to make sure you're not pulling away from your body. So you see how I'm keeping the bar close to my chest. I'm not pulling all the way away from my body. I'm also not leaning entirely too far back, but you can tell that my upper body definitely has a slight lean in it. And you also want to make sure you're not using any body momentum. So make sure all of the pull, all of the force, all of the grip is only in your back muscles. Now moving on into another super popular back exercise, we are going to be doing the seated cable row. Now the seated cable row is very similar to the row that I did at the beginning for my warm-up. However, this particular workout is done to develop strength rather than as an aerobic rowing exercise. So the seated cable row is a pulling exercise that works the back of the muscles in general, particularly the latissimus dorsi. It also works the forearm muscles and the upper arm muscles, as the biceps and triceps are used as dynamic stabilizers for this exercise. So what you're going to want to do is sit on the bench with your knees bent and grab the cable attachment. Position yourself with your knees slightly bent so that you have to reach to grab the handle with your arms outstretched, but make sure you're not curling the lower back over. So you're going to pull the handle and weight back toward the lower abs while trying not to use the momentum of the row too much by moving the torso backwards with the arms. If you want to target their middle back, keep your back straight and squeeze your shoulder blades together as you row, and be sure to keep your chest out. And now we are moving on to face pulls. You probably see a lot of people in the gym performing this motion, so I'm actually choosing to do this seated rather than standing, because when I sit down, that just ensures that I'm not using any momentum from my body and I'm only using my upper body, my arms, and my back for this movement. So the choice is yours. You can either do this seated or standing, but I am choosing seated today. So the face pulls are working on your rear deltoids, and that's something you don't want to neglect, because your rear delts help you maintain proper posture and they act as a major stabilizer for your shoulder muscle. And remember, this isn't a power exercise, so feel free to go lighter with the weight and really focus on your form and your function here. Now we are staying seated and moving on to the one arm cable row. This is a very effective compound exercise that targets all the muscles of the back, and this is one of the best exercises for accomplishing full back development. So single arm training offers the benefit of unilateral development, which is needed in every training program. That's why I love to isolate my muscles by doing one arm at a time. But I'm not going to go into too much depth with this exercise because it's done the exact same way as the regular seated cable arm row. It's just you're doing one arm at a time. But this is still a great and effective back workout. And now moving on into the straight arm pull down. This is a variation of the classic lat pull down, which we have already done, except in this case you perform the movement standing and you keep your elbows locked out the entire time. This variation trains the lats through a long range of motion, and it's super helpful for people who have trouble feeling their backs during a conventional pull down exercise. Now I will say that I'm using a straight bar, and this is honestly done usually with a rope, but I guess you can do it with either or as long as you keep your hands in the right placement. And as you can see, I have my hands on the very edge of the bar and my thumbs are pointing out so that my forearms are not taking over here. And with the straight arm pull down, keeping your arms straight actually prevents your mid back and your biceps from taking over, so you can really focus on the lat muscles and you're able to get a greater range of motion than a typical lat pull down. It has enhanced mind muscle connection, and it's also a great stretch, so you're really working out that full range of motion of your latissimus dorsi. And now moving on to one of the original big muscle moves, the bent over barbell row recruits the back, and it also uses the glutes and legs to stabilize the body. Form is all important with the bent over row, and the best way to ensure you don't get sloppy is to pick the right amount of weight. Slow, controlled movements are of far more value than jerking up a massive weight and twisting all over. So once you have your barbell loaded and ready, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, bend your knees slightly, and lean forward from the waist. You're gonna bend your knees a little bit, but your back is gonna stay straight with your neck in line with your spine. Grab the bar with your hands facing down, just wider than shoulder width apart, and let it hang with your arms straight. Brace your core and squeeze your shoulders together to row the weight up until it touches your sternum, then lower it back down. Think about pulling your elbows behind you, not pulling the bar up. That will help to activate your lats and keep everything tight. And y'all know I have to show y'all every variation of every exercise. So now I am doing a reverse grip bent over row. So as you can see, my palms are facing more up, more forwards. And doing this, by reversing the grip, you actually place more of a load on your lats and your lower traps. So it's still definitely working your back, but it's just working different muscles in the back. And for me personally, this is my favorite variation. It's just more comfortable for me to hold it reverse grip and to have my hands facing more inwards than the regular grip. And along with showing you every variation, I also have to show you the single arm version of every workout. So this is the one arm dumbbell row. So this is the single arm version of what we just did. And the main muscle group worked during the single arm row is the latissimus dorsi, but you also engage your entire back, your shoulders, and the arms. So we're using our trapezius, our rhomboids, our teres major and minor, our deltoids, our infraspinatus, our biceps. And by focusing on one arm at a time, you can better isolate your lats and lift the weight higher than you would during a classic barbell row. And this is another one of those exercises that can be done a bunch of different ways, because as you see, I personally like to use a weight bench by putting one of my knees and my hand on the bench to help keep me balanced and help me stabilize during this movement. But some people do it just standing, and they may lean on something else. So be sure to keep your back straight during this entire movement, and don't lift too much weight when you first begin this exercise, or you might find that you're focusing more on the lats and you're neglecting the smaller stabilizer muscles. So squeeze the shoulder blades during the movement to get the shoulders and the rhomboids fired up. And moving on into one of my least favorite back exercises, the Incline Y Raise. In order to do an Incline Y Raise, you want to grab a pair of dumbbells and lie with your chest down on an incline bench like so. You're going to let your arms hang down at arm's length with your palms facing each other. This is the starting position. You're going to begin the exercise by having your arms straight out in front of your body at a 30-degree angle so that they form a Y with your body. Pause, then lower back down to your starting position. With this exercise, you definitely don't have to go too heavy. You'd actually be surprised at how challenging it is to do this exercise with just your body weight or even a light pair of dumbbells. I think these are 5 pounds that I have in my hand. And you will also notice that this movement is very similar to what you do in the Superman that I demonstrated at the beginning of this video. You want to make sure that you're not sticking your head out or lifting your chin with these raises, because that can definitely put a strain on your neck. And also you want to be bracing your abs. So you're going to want to feel your abs firing up by maintaining a neutral spine position. But this workout is like my least favorite back workout because it mostly works your traps and your shoulders, and I absolutely hate working my traps. It feels so tight and so crunchy, but it is definitely important to improve your posture and to gain overall back strength. And moving on, you know I love a good single arm work, a good unilateral exercise. So here I am actually doing a pull down. This is basically the lat pull down, except I am using a machine rather than a cable machine, and I'm just doing one arm at a time. So it's basically the same movement that you would do if you were doing a lat pull down. I'm not even going to take the time to explain what muscles it works, because as you can see, most of these back workouts work the same muscles, just in different ways and in different areas. But I just wanted to include this because you guys may have this machine in your gym and you may not know how to use it. So this is a typical back pull down machine, but like I said, I am just doing one arm at a time because I
love the single arm work. I love isolating my muscles and only focusing on that one muscle at a time. This one you can do definitely slow and controlled, as you can see that I'm doing. And if you're feeling pretty strong, go ahead and take a pause at the top. I was not doing it in this video, but I want to talk a little bit more about that, because most trainers will tell you that if you can't stop at the top of each rep, then you've picked a weight that's too heavy. So that's one gym to just keep in mind when it comes to lifting and trying to figure out how much weight you want to start with. And last but not least, we have the Landmine Back Rows. Now this is working all the same muscles that it worked in the seated cable row, the single arm row, the bent over barbell row. So I'm not even gonna take any time to get into that. But if you have one of these machines in your gym, I just wanna make sure you guys know how to use it. So it's the exact same movement. Remember, think about pulling your elbows backwards rather than pulling your arms up. Give a nice good squeeze at the top. Think about pushing your shoulder blades together every time you pull. And with all of that being said, I know that this video contained a bunch of different back workouts, but from that I hope that you can pick and choose which back workouts you like the most, which ones work for you. And I hope that this gave you guys some insight and a little bit of instruction on how to properly do them and what each workout works. So in saying that, I want to say thank you for watching this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to drop me a comment and be sure to hit the subscribe button. And otherwise, I will see you all in my next video. Bye!